There are many problem-solving strategies for kids to use, but one of the most important ones to understand is the working backward problem-solving strategy. I use these curved arrows a lot in class, saying that if you go in one direction using one operation, you should be able to start at the back end, the tail end, and then work the opposite direction with the opposite operation. So in these, you can see I went with adding in one direction. I should be able to start at the back and come to the beginning and find A in this case by subtracting, which is the opposite of adding. In the bottom one here, you see I've got B times 9 to make 72. I've multiplied from left to right. I should be able to start and go back from right to left and find out what B is by dividing. It's the opposite of multiplying. So these are some fairly easy problems. I just like to work here. 4 plus A is equal to 10. So I should be able to start with 10, do the opposite, which is subtracting in this case. Get 4 and 6, so A is 6. Down in this bottom one, from left to right, I've gone B times 9, so I should be able to start with the right and go back to the left. 72 divided by 9, and that is 8. So B in this case is 8. Alright, so here's a story problem. Francine went to the movies with one of her friends. Her dad gave her some money to spend at the theater. She bought her ticket for $7, a medium popcorn for $3.25, a small pop for $1.50. Now when her friend showed up, she paid Francine the $2.50 she owed her. She brought $10.75 home from the movies. How much money did Francine get from her dad? Alright, so Francine starts with some money. She takes that money and she spends $7. That was for the ticket. Now spending, that would be subtracting the money from she had. And then she subtracts another $3.25 for the popcorn. And we're going to subtract from her money a little bit more, $1.50. Now things are going to change here because her friend shows up. So instead of actually giving some more money away, she gets some money. So you can see we changed to adding here. So that's $2.50 that she gets from her friend. She brought home $10.75. So all of this gets done, and she's got $10.75. So now again, you can see we've started here, we've gone from left to right and done all these operations. We should be able to start here from the right and work back and do all the opposite and get back here with the money amount at the beginning. So down here you're just going to see I'm just going to do the opposite. That's $10.75. Let's see, I added $2.50, so I'm going to subtract $2.50. Okay, so $10.75 minus $2.50. 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. 10 minus 2 is 8. So far I've got $8.25. Okay, now, see I subtracted $1.50. So now I'm going to add $1.50. So I add $1.50. I'm up to $9.75. And now again, I've subtracted $3.25, so I'm going to add $3.25. So that's $13. And then subtracting 7, so I'm going to add 7. So I add 7. And I get $20. So right here is the money that her dad gave her was $20. And we got that by going the opposite, starting at the tail end and working all the way back, doing the opposite operations until we got to the beginning. Okay? All right. Well, now here's one that deals with fractions. We've been doing a lot of adding and subtracting fractions lately. And so I look at This one I'm going to start with a fraction of an acre of a land. So I don't really know what he's starting with, but it's some amount. I could even just put a shape there. So I've got this fraction of an acre of land. He bought another acre, sorry, another half acre. So whatever he had before, we're going to add 1/2 of an acre. Then he was given 2/5 of another acre. So he's given this land 2/5 of an acre. He later sold 1/4 of an acre. So I'm going to take whatever he had, and now I'm going to sell some more. So I'm going to subtract it. And he gave away another 3/20 of an acre. So he's got all this that has happened. Started with some land, bought some more, had some more given to him, sold some, gave it away. When he had all this done, he ended up with 1 acre of land. Okay, so you can see we're going to be doing a lot of adding and subtracting of fractions here. So as we do that, we can't add and subtract any fractions until we have denominators that are the same. So I look at all these fractions and think what would work really well for all of these fractions. You know, halves, I can go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, so on. Fives, I can go 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Fours, I can do 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and so on. And 20s, I can do 20, 40, 60, 80. Okay, so as I look at these, you can see the 20s always end in 0, so I'm going to be looking for things that end in 0. 4s, I've got 20 that ends in 0. I've got 20 in this list also. You can see I've got 20 in this list also. With the 2s, I didn't quite make it up there, so I'm just going to see if I get a 20, 16, 18, 20. So you can see a 20 works for that one. So 20 would be a good fraction for me to use for all of these. So I've got 20ths here. 2 times 10 times 10 would give me 2 times 20. If I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So 1 times 10 would give me 10. So these two are equivalent here, 1/2 and 10/20ths. Okay, to get this one to 20ths, I go 5 multiply times 4. If I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So 2 times 4 gives me 8. Here, 4 times 5 gives me 20. If I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So that's times 5. So you can see I've got all these in the 20ths now. 10/20ths, 8/20ths, 5/20ths, and this one's already in 20ths, so I can just leave that one just like it. When I get all done, I have to get 20/20ths. Okay, so again, I'm adding in this direction, and adding, then subtracting, and I get 1. So I should be able to do the opposite now. I've worked all the way in this direction. Now I'm going to start at the end and do the opposite. 20/20ths. Instead of subtracting 3/20ths, I'm going to add 3/20ths. Okay, so far I'm at 23/20ths. Instead of subtracting 5/20ths, I'm going to add 5/20ths. Okay, so far I'm up to 20/20ths, 23/20ths, 28/20ths. Instead of adding 8/20ths, I'm going to subtract 8/20ths. So again, I'm at 20, 23, 28. Now I've subtracted 8. So I'm back to 20/20ths. And now instead of adding a half, I'm going to subtract a half. So subtract 10/20ths. And I should end up with our square over here. So 20 plus 3 is 23, plus 5 is 28, minus 8, that's 20, minus 10, that's 10. So that's 10 20ths. So right up here is 10 20ths, which is equal to 1/2. So Jim started with a fraction of acre of land, and that fraction that he started with was 1/2 an acre. So this is how you take, you have to set up these equations like we've done in the past, and then start at the end and just work backwards with the opposite operation, step by step, and you get the correct answer in the end.